Hello and welcome back to another class. My name is Satya. Welcome to those of you new to my channel and welcome back if you've practiced with me before. This is the second of a 10-part series where we practice the Yamas and the Niyamas. So just as a reminder, these Yamas and Niyamas, also known as restraints and observances, are the first two of the 8 limbs of yoga. And throughout the series, we'll be taking one each per class, and I'll be cueing and talking you through some of the ways that you can practice these ethical principles throughout the rest of your day. So not only on the mat, but a way that you can take yoga off the mat. Today's class will be slow, so a yin style class. So if you need any bolsters, pillows, blocks or blankets to help make the poses more comfortable, feel free to have those at hand. But don't worry, you can also do the class without. So today's Yama, the second Yama, is called Satya. Satya also means truthfulness. So beginning today, kneeling in the center of your mat. If your hips are feeling a bit tight, you might like to slide a cushion under the heels, so between the calf and the bum, and finding a nice tall spine, shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Resting the hands on the knees. And just take a few deep breaths all the way into the belly, breathing in and out, arriving in your practice. And joining me today to practice Satya. So in our life, we can observe the difference when we're acting nice and where we're acting real. So often we want to be seen as nice and or maybe being a bit disingenuous and not strictly being very truthful. So acting truthful towards others but being real rather than nice can be one way that you can practice Satya off the mat. And from here, gently sliding the hips over to the left. Legs come over and around, bottom of the feet to touch. Knees fall to either side. And you can walk the feet a little bit further away from the body, melting the upper body towards the feet, rounding the spine. Chin is tucked. And a second way that we can practice truthfulness is by paying attention and going slowly enough so that we do it right the first time. So rather than having to go back and have to fix a situation or clear up an awkward situation because we didn't do it right the first time, we can practice truthfulness by doing it right the first time. So facing each moment head on with clarity and courage. And know that all of these prompts and practices that I'll be discussing through our class will also be linked in the description box below. So you can go back and journal if you like at the end of class. And from here, slowly rounding the spine up, sliding the right leg away from the body, so straightening it out, toes pointing up, left foot stays connected to the right thigh, and then folding the body over the right thigh. If you have a block, you might like to place it on the inside of the right knee and place the forehead onto the block. Maybe you'd like to keep the spine straight if that's enough of a stretch for you. Just finding ease in half butterfly. So the first two ways, as a reminder that we can practice Satya off the mat, is by observing where we're acting nice rather than where we're acting real, and then paying attention and going slowly enough to do it right the first time. And then slowly straightening the spine back up and moving slowly, bringing the right foot back in towards the body and straightening out the left leg. Toes of the left foot are active, and squaring the hips over towards the left leg, folding over, half butterfly on the left side. Again, the option to place a block on the inside of the left knee, resting the forehead on the block, or finding the pose without any props. And you're also very welcome to keep the spine straight, so no need to take a fold if that feels more comfortable in your body. If you've practiced the first class, ahimsa or non-violence, which is also linked for you below, then you'll know that in yoga we want to practice in a way where we don't harm ourselves. So listen to your body. If it's telling you not to stretch too deeply today, then honor that. And taking another nice deep breath in and exhale out. With the next inhalation, slowly walking the spine straight, bringing both legs together, and then finding your way onto all fours, tabletop, finding a neutral spine. And then stepping the right foot forward and to the outside of the right hand. If you're practicing with blocks, you might like to place the hands onto blocks. Again, don't worry if you don't have any blocks, you don't need them. And sinking the hips low. The toes of the left foot can be tucked or untucked. Letting the chin relax towards the chest, softening the gaze, or maybe even closing the eyes to really draw inwards and feel into the sensations in the left hip. Dragon pose. Remembering to take nice deep breaths in and out. Releasing, slowly bringing the right leg behind, finding tabletop. Taking a deep breath here, and then stepping the left foot forward to the outside of the left hand, sinking the hips low. And gazing softly to the ground, closing the eyes. Dragon pose on the left side. We're here for half a minute more. And know that at any point you're very welcome to come out of the pose, so no need to hold it long if it's starting to feel uncomfortable. We're taking one last breath here, and then finding your way back to tabletop, sinking the hips down to the ground so the pelvis presses in the earth, backs of the feet on the mat, and sliding the forearms forward so elbows underneath shoulders, sphinx pose. Peeling the chest open, gazing forward, chin slightly tucked. And then from here, walking the hands underneath the shoulders and gently pressing yourself back. Big toes touching, knees are wide. Sinking the hips towards the heels, melting the forehead to the ground into child's pose. And the third way that we might like to practice Satya or truthfulness off the mat is by looking at the ideas and beliefs that once served you and are now archaic. And you can honor these ideas and beliefs and let them go. So letting go of the ones that no longer serve you. And the important part here is to notice also where denial shows up. So be truthful with yourself, your beliefs and your ideas. And no need to hold on to the ones that are no longer serving you. That would be seen as a way of not being truthful to yourself and your ideas and beliefs. And from here, you can gently gaze forward, walking the hands in towards the body, coming through hero pose, and then finding your way all the way onto your back, lifting the legs up towards the heavens. If you have a pillow or bolster, you might like to slide it underneath the hips. But again, that's not necessary. If you are practicing near a wall, you can slide the legs up against the wall. So which ideas and beliefs once served you and are now archaic that you can honor and let go, being truthful to yourself? And from here, slowly lowering the legs, Bringing yourself back up into a seated position with the legs stretched out in front of you. If your hamstrings are feeling a bit tight, you might like to walk the legs slightly further apart or bend into the knees. Otherwise, rounding the spine and letting the upper body melt over the legs into caterpillar pose. If you are using props, a bolster or cushion can be slid on top of the thighs so that the upper body can rest on a prop. And the final way that I'd like you to perhaps investigate Satya or truthfulness off the mat is by self-expression. So making moves in your external world that are guided by and showcase your internal hopes and dreams. So letting those internal hopes and dreams go out into the world. Next time you come across a life-giving opportunity, why not act on this opportunity despite the consequences, obviously within reason. Inhale, slowly lifting yourself out of caterpillar pose. And if you have a bolster, you can slide the bolster to the hip, the left hip. Right leg is stacked on top of the left, and then turning to face the bolster and letting the upper body rest over the bolster. Left cheek can rest. And if you don't have a bolster, you can simply stack the right leg on top of the left and then resting on the left shoulder. Left cheek rests on the earth. Finding into a bolster or free body rotation. From here, gently pressing yourself back up, sitting facing the front of your mat, both feet on the ground, and then letting the knees fall over towards the right side, left leg on top of right, sliding the bolster to the right hip, facing the body over the bolster and leaning over. Right cheek rests on the bolster, or simply coming down onto the right side of the body, straightening out the right arm, maybe resting the right cheek on the right arm or on the mat. Finding a bolster or free body rotation on the other side. So part of Satya and truthfulness is having a look at how we can bring our inner truth forth into the world. Inhale, gently unwind, coming to sit in a comfortable seated position. Hands rest on the knees. Nice tall spine, closing down the eyes. Bringing the thumb and index finger together in a seal. And really having a think about what truthfulness means to you, how you're being truthful to yourself, how that reflects in your ideas and beliefs, how you're acting truthfully in situations with others. So being real and also making sure to do the right thing the first time by taking care to face each moment with clarity and courage. You're very welcome to lie down for a shavasana, finding your way onto your back, perhaps sliding a bolster underneath the knees, or just finding into a traditional lying down position on your back, palms facing up, relaxing all of the muscles in the body and enjoying the next few minutes in quiet. And I'll call us back when it is time. Start to deepen the breath, wriggling the fingers and the toes, stretching the arms up and overhead, and then hugging the knees into the chest before rolling over into the fetal position on one side, taking a few moments to observe how you feel before pressing yourself gently up into a cross-legged seated position with the eyes closed. Closing the practice here, so bringing the palms together in prayer and bowing the gaze in gratitude for making the time to explore the second of the 5 yamas together, Satya or truthfulness. Thank you so very much for being here today. I really hope that you enjoyed this class. As I mentioned, All of the prompts and things we discussed today will be linked in the description box below. You'll also see the first of the yamas, Himsa, will be linked in the description box, and as the other classes for the other yamas and niyamas come out, I'll link those there for you too. If you enjoyed the class, please give it a thumbs up, share it with anyone who could also benefit from a bit of ethical or spiritual development off the mat. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, why not click to join the community and not to miss out on any further classes. Thank you so much for being here. All my love.